Welcome, boys and girls. I am Miss Goodridge, and I will be doing a math lesson with you standard 2 pupils on multiplying with arrays. What we'll be doing today is forming arrays to show addition and multiplication. So let's read the next slide to get the problem I am posing for you today. Miss Walters asked a health official to speak to her class and another standard 2 class about proper hygiene during the COVID-19 pandemic. To make room for the other pupils, Miss Walters arranged the chairs in her classroom into 8 rows and put 4 chairs in each row. How many chairs were there in all? So what I want you all to do now is, if you have your pencils, your paper, to draw how you think Miss Walters' class will look. And you might ask me, Miss, what is an array? So an array is an arrangement of equal groups that can be used to show, first, repeated addition, and secondly, multiplication. So what we are going to do now, what I am going to do now, is to show you how the array looks. So we have to remember in the question that she had 8 rows and each row had 4 chairs in each. So I will be using colored tiles to show you what her classroom will look like. So we will start with the first row. So we have, starting here, and we have 4 chairs. Just remember, now is the COVID period, so we have to social distance. So I will be spacing my tiles to show this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my first row. So we will do this 8 times. So we will fill in our chairs now. Did your drawing look like this? I hope it did. So this is what an array looks like. An array is where we have an equal group to represent repeated addition and multiplication. So we have rows and columns, and I know rows and columns tend to confuse children. So the rows is an arrangement of numbers or objects, sorry, from left to right, and the column is the arrangement from top to bottom. So let's look at the rows. From the question, she had 8 rows. So let's count the 8 rows. So this is our first row, that is row 1. We have row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, row 7, and I have one more row to go. So we have our 8 rows. Let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, so we have our 8 rows now. And we are going to count our columns. So the column is from top to bottom. So we have column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. So we have our 8 rows and our 4 columns. So using this array, how do you think we could solve how many chairs Miss Walters had in her class? 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, 8 times. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we add a next 4, and we have 4, 8 times. So when we add 4, 8 times, we will get a next way we can represent repeated addition is multiplication using a multiplication sentence. And when we are multiplying, we have to remember that we multiply, or we put the number of rows we have first multiplied by the number of columns. So how many rows we have? We have 8 rows. And how many columns we have? We have 4 columns. So when we do this as a multiplication sentence, it now becomes 8 multiplied by 4, and our answer is 32. So if I had 4 multiplied by 8, do you think I will get the same answer that I got before? Let's try it and see. We have to create our rows and our columns, but just remember now that how much our rows will be. Our rows will be 4 and our column will be 8. So for space, I will put it on this side, but it will have to be close. So I have my 4 rows, and I will fill in with my columns. So I have 8 in my column. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So we have to fill it in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have the first array is 8 by 4. The second array is 4 by 8. Do you think you will get the same number using 4 by 8? Yes. If you have 8 by 4, you will get the same as 4 by 8. Let's try the repeated addition. We have 8, add 8, add 8, add 8, and then we have the 4 multiplied by 8, and you will get 32. So we have 8 plus 8 plus 8, and you will get 32. So we have this question. Farmer Elaine planted 7 rows of lettuce. In each row, there was 5 lettuce plants. How many lettuce plants were there in all? So now you can form your array knowing what you know with rows and columns. So how many rows you will have? 7. So we have our 7 rows, and each row will have 5 lettuce plants. So we have our 7 rows, and we have our 5 lettuce plants in each of the row. So to find this out, the first way we can do is repeated addition, where you add 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 7 times, and you will get the answer of 35. And we can form a multiplication sentence now, and we have to remember it is row multiplied by the column. So we have 7 multiplied by 5, and we will get 35. So let's try this one. So I want you all now to form an array using 29 tiles. You think you can form an array using 29 tiles? Do you think you could do it? Let's try. So I will remove these tiles to give me my 29 tiles. So we could do rows and columns. Let me try 5 rows and fill in the rest with columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will come here. Is this an array? Yes? No? If you say yes, why you say yes? And if you say no, why do you say no? Let's try again. We could move some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this an array? Yeah or no? The 2 examples I showed, they are not arrays. Why? It's because the arrays supposed to have an equal number of groups. So for this to be an array, we have to add 3 more tiles. So how can we form an array using 29 tiles? What we have to do is just put all of them in a straight line. And this will be the array now. So it looks like a straight line. Let's see if I have enough room. So this is what the array looks like. It will be in a straight line. It cannot be an array using squares or rectangle because there is no equal numbers to form this array. So I'm going to do an array for you, and I want you to look at the questions or the answers and see which answer goes with this array. So this is the array, and look at the answers and see which answer goes with this array. Just remember, when we form in arrays, we have to look at the rows and the columns. So we have 4 add 4 add 4 add 4. We have 3 multiplied by 4. We have 3 add 3 add 3. And we have 4 add 3. So which one do you think it is? That is this array, that represents this array. Well, if you said answer B, you are correct. So let's recap what we did today. Yes, answer B is correct. An array is an arrangement of equal groups that can be used to show repeated addition and multiplication. The row is an arrangement of numbers or objects from left to right, and the column is an arrangement of numbers or objects from top to bottom. So we can visit learn.moe.gov.tt for ECCE primary and secondary schools, helping students to connect and continue learning. Look forward to your next class and enjoy the rest of your day.